I try to sculpt the things I know something about or can observe for myself. So if I lived in Africa, I'd probably do African animals. Because I think it's all about observation. You're trying to capture something, some little moment, something that triggers something in your brain. That's what I mean by an impression. It needs to be something that you only see in a flicker, but it's there, the recognition's there. Because I'm not very good at carving, and I'm not terribly good at measuring and things like that. I'm quite good at eyeing things. Richard can measure up bits of wood and work out how to build something. If I try that, my measurements, I mean, it doesn't matter how many times I measure, it never comes out quite right. And I'm a bit like that with carving, which is a different process, you see. With that, you start with a positive, big lump of stone, and then you carve away until you get back. I prefer to start with nothing, and then I build a wire, and then I put bits of clay on it, and if I change my mind, I can hook them off and stick them somewhere else. But you can't do that with stone. So if you hit it, you get a bit overexcited and hit it, and the head falls off. You're rather stuffed. I work in clay on big things and wax on the smaller ones. I use a brown wax, which is a sort of mixture of a sort of green wax and a red wax, and it's a little bit easier to work. It's a little bit softer. But for delicate work, it's much easier than clay because you don't have to keep it wet all the time, and it takes a mould really well. But it's not very nice for working, and not many people like it. Most people use plasticine, but I find the surface of plasticine very dead, whereas this looks more like bronze. So you get more of an idea of how the light works on it. What they're looking at is not something that can be reproduced. No two bronzes are the same, and there's so much effort goes into producing each one. From my original inspiration down to an awful lot of other people's work. Quite often, actually, I find time is good. I mean, if I have a sort of year or two and then look at something, then I'm able to look at it much more objectively than if I look at it when it straight comes out. And it always surprises me. I mean, sometimes I think, oh, that didn't work. And then other people find it works for them, so I don't know. Can't always guarantee. They're just sort of things that I fancy doing. Yeah, it's just a little idea that struck me that I wanted to do. And quite often I find I've got a little nest of ideas. And in my slightly fuddled brain, occasionally they come to light. But often something will be cooking there for quite a long time before I get round to it. And it's quite nice to do loads of different things.